So good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Sunday's health seminar. We are going to have our usual session today. Today we have a very interesting topic where we'll basically be talking about how to have a healthy heart. And we have one of our leaders, who is a lady with a lot of experience in the wellness industry, who is going to be talking to us about this very sensitive topic. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Patricia Mwangi to take it away. Patricia.
Thank you, Fred. Good afternoon, everyone. Depending on where you are from, for some people it's afternoon, others it's morning. It's nice to have all of you here on our health talk. And I always say it's a nice way to spend a Sunday evening to learn something that will help us and help other people. As Fred shared, my name is Patricia Mwangi Wainaina. I am married to Philip Wainaina, very supportive spouse. And I've been in this opportunity for quite a number of years. I joined this opportunity because I needed to make an extra income because life was very, very rough at that point. But little did I know that courtesy of this opportunity, my health would get better. So today I'm not going to give too much about my story because we'll have somebody giving the testimonial about heart health. But what I'd like to say, this program is very dear to my heart because a very close relative had issues where this topic is concerned. And courtesy of what we shall share today and doing what he was meant to do, he's been able to manage the condition he had, and he's living a healthier life. So I know this program works. And if you're one of those people who are wondering, I've reached the end of the road, or you're thinking, I don't want to wait to be sick to be able to handle my heart, then this is the place for you. So allow me to share my slides so that we're able to move together. Now, heart health is a very, very sensitive topic, and it's an important topic because we all know if your heart is working well, many things about you work well. If your heart is not working well, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You find that the quality of your life actually becomes, you don't really enjoy your life as much as you should. So it's very, very important to take better care of our hearts and also to take the care of the hearts of the people around us, because we are all interconnected. If your family is well, you know it affects you. This information, it's for sharing with everyone else, so that together, in our mission of making the world a happier and a healthier place. So we want to take care of your heart. Why? Because that is what you need to be the primary caregiver where your health is concerned. Not waiting until you're sick for somebody else to take charge. You need to take charge of your own health. Now, to be able to take care of our hearts, first of all, we need to know that heart disease is on the increase, and it's becoming worse as the years go by because of the kind of lifestyles we are leading. And friends, you'll agree with me, you don't want to be one of those statistics who has an issue with heart diseases or issues with complications. You want to be in that group of people where your heart is working the way it should, so that it can carry you to a ripe old age. Now,
Patricia, you're breaking off.
First of all, we need to know that there's things with your heart. What are those? Let me see. Is this better, Fred? Hello?
Yes, that's better.
Fred?
That's better.
That's better. Thank you. Sorry. I think it's the way I'd positioned my mouthpiece. All right. So some of the things that will give you issues with your heart are things we know about, but I read somewhere the other day, there's a huge gap between what we know and what we should be practicing. That's why we have these sessions to keep reminding us so that hopefully it will sink and we reduce our risk factors, or we get away from them. The first risk factor is high blood pressure. As you're well aware, when you have high blood pressure, it forces your heart to work harder. And if your heart works harder than it should, then you're going to start having issues with your heart. High cholesterol. High cholesterol is another factor. Why? Because when those fatty deposits are put in your blood vessels, it means your blood vessels become narrower. For those who've done a bit of gardening, or most people know this, when you have a pipe, when the pipe is not blocked, the water flows very well. But when the pipe becomes narrower, it means you have to work harder, whatever, you have to pump the water more. So that's what happens to your heart when there's high cholesterol. It has to work harder, so it gets into trouble. Smoking. We all know smoking is not good. Yeah. I remember hearing the story of someone who used to work for one of the major cigarette producing companies, and they actually left their job because they said that they could not reconcile with marketing something that actually affects people's health negatively. And the person went as far as saying that what we are told about cigarette smoking, the disadvantages, not even the disadvantages, the diseases or the side effects that smoking give you are very little compared to what we are not told. Yeah. So smoking is one of those habits you should have kicked out like yesterday. Of course, for most people, smoking is an addiction. And we all know addictions are not easy to kick, but it is possible to actually get out of smoking. Yeah? Because smoking introduces toxins into your body. And those toxins, what they do, I found this very interesting, they thicken the blood. They even make the blood form clots. And we all know if those clots get to your heart, then you're in serious trouble. Physical inactivity. That's something that many people struggle with. Why? Because of the kind of jobs we have. Yeah, most people have sedentary jobs, and they don't move too much. Even when they are going to work, they take a vehicle. They want to alight at the stage that is closest to where they work. They use a lot of bodas. I remember there was somebody who was joking when they had somebody takes a walk for 30 minutes. They were so shocked. How can you walk for 30 minutes? That physical inactivity is a risk factor for heart disease. Diabetes, and diabetes we know is on the increase. Abdominal obesity, having a pot belly. Before, people would pride themselves with having a pot belly. Yeah, that when you have a pot belly, it means you have eaten well, you're being fed well, but a pot belly is making your life more complicated. So it's important not to have it or to reduce it completely. Poor diet. We live in a society where we are not eating right. Either we have deficiencies of nutrients, or we have excesses of what we should not be eating. All those risk factors combined will have a negative impact on your health. Now, the kind of diet many people are eating today is what is contributing to heart disease, or the kind of lifestyle they are leading. What is the typical lifestyle people lead? That their physical activity is on a minimum. They're also overweight. Whole grains means if it's chapati, it's brown chapati. If it's rice, it's brown rice. If it's ugali, it's one that everything has been milled together. Most people find that food very unattractive. They say it tastes yuck. Yeah. So if they're eating like that, no wonder they have issues. Fruits and vegetables, very little. The reason most people will not take fruits and vegetables, they say it is expensive. Yeah. And I always feel compared to being sick. Protein. Many people are taking far too much of the wrong protein. Yeah, the red meat and all that. I know in some homes, I've got a friend of mine who was sharing with me that if he gets home and he finds that meat, red meat, and not just any meat, red meat has not been cooked separately, he shall ask his wife, there's no food in this house. Yeah, for most people, eating well is red meat. Fats and sugars, excess of fats and sugars, because most people, unfortunately, they eat to please their taste buds and fill their stomachs. They're not eating for the right reasons, which is to actually nourish the body. The result is obesity. As you can see, our brother, that gentleman on the right, very happy with himself, taking a soft drink. And we all know soft drinks are so high in refined sugars. And taking that fried food, he's taking his chips, he's taking his burger, and he's feeling, wow, I have reached. But continue eating like that, and heart health is going to be a real issue for someone. When we look at that, we can see the kind of food people are enjoying, all the white chapatis, the red meat, and it's so much. It's even over half of the plate. Excess alcohol. Please note the word excess. Moderate drinking has its benefits, but when it's excess, it starts affecting your health negatively. Now, we all know that your health begins at the cellular level. It starts in your cells. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We have between 75 to 100 trillion cells in our body. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, wow, that is really something. And all these cells have to be taken care of. How are the cells to be taken care of? First of all, they need to be nourished. Then they need to be protected. They need to be repaired, and they need to be renewed. So 4 things: they need to be nourished, protected, repaired, and renewed. You can see that is quite a bit of work that has to happen at the cellular level. And the reality is, most people don't have diet that supports those 4 functions. You can encourage people to eat well, and that's very, very important. That's why we always start by teaching people what you should do. You should be eating well. And eating well in this case, if I go back to a previous slide, is we need to invert this pyramid. Yeah. Instead of little whole grain, you should be taking a lot of whole grain. Yeah, a lot of it. Then you need to be taking a lot of fruits and vegetables. Reduce on your protein, especially the plant-based, the animal-based protein. Have the plant-based protein. And fats and sugars, put them at a bare minimum. Yeah. But even if one is trying to eat like that, we all know that we are all going to have nutritional deficiencies. Because why? First of all, most of us don't grow our own food. We depend on other people to grow our food. And as time goes by, it has been realized most people are growing food for profit. They're not growing food for nutrition. The other day, I was commenting to the lady I buy groceries from that I noticed that some of the fruits I bought from her were not ripening, or the way they were ripening was so funny. And she admitted it's because, unfortunately, what some farmers do, in the rush to make money, they go and pluck the avocados before they are ready. And what happens? When you're eating that kind of avocado, you realize that you have actually wasted money, because you have to throw away like half the avocado because a bit of it is ripe, a bit of it was overripe, then the other part is not ripe. I mean, it's such a mess. Yeah, we don't control. We have to buy food. Most of us buy food from the market, so we don't grow our own food. Also, the kind of soil we are growing our food in is very depleted in nutrients. Yeah. Also, transportation, the way we handle food, all these factors. And add that GMO. We are eating a lot of GMO food. So what happens is the nutrients have really reduced. And because they have reduced, we need to have a practical way of bringing back or trying to bridge that gap and bringing back the nutrients that we should have in our bodies. That's where supplementation comes in. Supplementation is to bridge the gap between what you should be eating and what you eat. It is not a substitute. I remember there was a time I was dealing with a certain gentleman, and so he calls and he said, you know, Patricia, I need this product. Then he said, you know very well, I don't eat fruits and vegetables. And I told him, that is not the idea of supplementation. You need to try to eat right. But he said, you know, I don't have the time. So I remember when I went to his office, I drew up a meal plan. By that time, he was single, and said, this is what you're going to be buying. This is what you're going to be buying and all that. So in addition to his supplements, he was trying to eat right. And friends, that person totally changed. Their health became another story. Now, the foundation for supplementation in your life is a product called ProVitality. Now, ProVitality has many benefits. In fact, it's what we call our star product. Because when people use ProVitality, they're able to see the difference. ProVitality consists of 4 supplements. You can see those supplements down there. When there's threonine, there's carotenoid, there's omega-3, and there's multi. Now, what do these products do? Threonine is foundational. So what it does, it helps the cell membrane become soft and permeable so that whatever it is that you're eating actually gets in, and whatever it is that is being produced as toxins actually gets out. The omega-3 is very important for breaking down bad cholesterol. Yeah, it also helps clean your arteries so that you're not giving your heart excess work to pump through narrow blood vessels. The omega-3 also normalizes high blood pressure, which we know is very bad for the heart. It also has carotenoid. So what carotenoid does, it reduces the oxidation of the cholesterol in your blood vessels, hence protecting your heart. The multi has the vitamins and minerals, which are very, very important for heart health. For example, one of the vitamins that multi has is vitamin E. And what does vitamin E do, among other things? It strengthens the heart muscle. So when the heart muscle is strong, it means the heart is strong and it can be able to perform its work better. So that's our ProVitality with heart health. And the beauty with ProVitality, not only will it help you with your heart, it will help you with many other things. But because we're dealing about heart health, let me just narrow down on ProVitality, helping with heart health. Okay, now we mentioned that high blood pressure negatively affects your heart. Now, what is high blood pressure? High blood pressure is when the blood exerts excess pressure on the walls of your arteries, yeah? And that is very, very bad for your heart because it means your heart has to work harder and harder. If you look to your left, you can see the size of a normal heart. When the heart is overworked, yeah, the heart enlarges, it enlarges, and it will reach a point that heart will be so exhausted, it cannot work anymore. So it's so important to make sure that our blood pressure is where it should be. Now, what causes high blood pressure? There are various factors. Some of them we know. So we need to pay attention to these factors and reduce these risk factors so that we're not having problems with high blood pressure and giving our hearts extra work that it should not be doing. A magnesium deficiency will cause high blood pressure when we are exposed to toxins. And unfortunately, if we live in the city, we know we are really exposed to toxins. When we have a cholesterol imbalance, because we have good cholesterol and we have bad cholesterol. So when the bad cholesterol is too much, that cholesterol imbalance is going to give you high blood pressure. When we don't have enough antioxidants, meaning a lot of plaque is being formed in our blood vessels. That leads to high blood pressure. When we have a lot of stress, in fact, stress is a common cause for high blood pressure. In fact, when you hear somebody has high blood pressure, one of the first things you ask them, are you stressed? If you're stressed, your pressure will go up. If you're taking a lot of salt, it will go up. I know there are some people, even when food is cooked with salt, they're still going to add more salt. That predisposes you to high blood pressure. Now, for you to manage your high blood pressure, apart from reducing, when you look at those risk factors, one of the things we need to do is to have nutritional support so that we can manage high blood pressure. You need to have calcium and magnesium in your diet because calcium is very good for regulating regular heartbeat. Magnesium helps form strong heart muscle. Omega-3, very important for lowering inflammation. Yeah, very important for breaking down cholesterol, as we talked earlier. Antioxidants. You also need to have garlic. Garlic is excellent because it reduces your risk of blood clots. Because if a blood clot gets to your heart, you're in a lot of trouble. And you need to eat whole meals, not junk, whole meals to keep your nutritional support running. The Neolife products we are going to have for high blood pressure, for hypertension as it's called, is garlic allium complex. If you look at the screen, you can see garlic allium. It's the top product on the left. Then we have omega-3, and we have two types of omega-3. We have the 90 capsules and the 60 capsules. The 60 capsules is mini salmon. Even children can take it. And let me tell you, children really, really enjoy our omega-3. You have to hide it away from them. I know there's a client who has a husband who has one of these very serious lifestyle diseases. And he had been, one of the supplements he was taking in addition to his medication was omega-3. And my client shared that, that she heard that the home was very quiet. You see, for the mothers in the house, when you have small children and they are quiet, usually you know they are up to mischief. Yeah. So she came and found them feasting on the omega-3, the three of them. They had eaten that, like almost finished the whole container. And she thought, my goodness, these children are going to get diarrhea. Nothing happened. That's how safe our products are. CalMag, very important for high blood pressure, even from the point of view that it helps calm you down. Eh? And we saw earlier that stress contributes to high blood pressure. So if you're more calm, your high blood pressure will be more manageable. We have fiber tablets. Fiber is considered to be the broom in the body. Yeah, it helps lower your cholesterol. And if you lower your cholesterol, your high blood pressure gets managed. We also have Botanical Balance. Botanical Balance helps manage sugar levels. It's also a powerful antioxidant. So the cholesterol is not being changed into a substance that starts clogging your blood vessels and leading to high blood pressure. We have vitamin E, also very, very important for hypertension. So those are your Neolife products. Somebody may ask, I could get similar products from the shop. And I agree, but it's very, very important to understand what we call the Neolife difference. The Neolife difference first is our products are made from whole food. Yeah, food that is in the natural human food chain. You'll agree with me, garlic allium complex, among many things, it's made from garlic, it's made from onions. All of us, almost on a daily basis, use onions and garlic to cook our food. So you can see it's made from things that we normally eat. Also, what also makes our products special is that they are made in a way that your body can absorb them. Yeah, because there is no use of taking a supplement, like maybe taking calcium from somewhere, and very little of it is absorbed in your system. I mean, you might as well have taken, excuse the phrase, you might as well have taken your money and flushed it down the toilet, because that's what exactly happened. Most of it just passed through your system and did not help your body. Yeah. So our Neolife products also have a product guarantee. They are made by a very reputable group of scientists called the Scientific Advisory Board. Friends, I encourage you to go and Google the credentials of those people. They are not small scientists. That's why you will meet many people who will say, Neolife products, excellent. When I put on my WhatsApp status some of these products, I have people that had even had not contacted for a very long time who just see it and they say, you actually sell these products. I want A, B, C, and D. Why? Because they know how good our products are. So they are products that you recommend confidently, because even we use our products ourselves and we have seen how good our products are. Excess cholesterol will negatively affect your heart health. It will influence your blood pressure negatively. But we need to know not all cholesterol is bad. We have good cholesterol and we have bad cholesterol. So what you want to do is get rid of the bad cholesterol, that is excess. And which Neolife products will help you with that? Fiber tablets. As I shared earlier, it's like a broom. It comes sweeping off that bad cholesterol. The omega-3 will break down that excess cholesterol. Then we have vitamin E. We also have the garlic allium complex that will help with excess cholesterol. That's why I know in some communities, they chew a lot of garlic. Yeah, because they say it helps with excess cholesterol. The beauty with our garlic is it's made in a way that it's going to open in your intestines so that your body gets the maximum benefit from it. Then we have a relatively new product called the Lipotropic adjunct that helps with excess cholesterol, and we have the carotenoid complex. A fantastic program with excess cholesterol, because we know many of these lifestyle diseases, for you to manage them properly, you need to change your lifestyle. That's what gets to the bottom of your problem, or gets to the root of your problem. When you get to the root of your problem, you find that many of these challenges get sorted out. That's why they're called lifestyle challenges. Yeah? I talked about Lipotropic adjunct. It's a relatively new product. What it does, it removes what we call the excess homocysteine from the body. Now, what is homocysteine? It's a byproduct that comes from metabolism, especially when we've eaten excess red meat. Please note the word excess. A bit of red meat is not bad, a bit. But when we take excess, and you see, the other day, I was, it's really amazing that sometimes you can be moving from one place to another and people are talking very loudly, very loudly. So there's this lady who was talking very loudly, and it just drew my attention. And she was talking so loudly, I just had to hear what she was saying. So she was saying the way she had such a long day. And then she said, between managu and meat, if you were to choose, managu would be better. But guess what her next sentence was? Her next sentence was, but you know what? What I really want is a kakota. I want to eat a kakota all by myself. You see, she knows what is good for her, but because most of us, in fact, I really smiled. Most of us eat to please our taste buds and fill our stomachs. She went for the 1/4 kilo of meat, all on her own. It's amazing. Yet a 1/4 kilo of meat should be taken by about 12 people. So you can imagine how much she took. Okay? Now, the product that will help with that homocysteine that can impact our heart health negatively is Lipotropic adjunct, vitamin B complex. People who get an excess of this homocysteine, one of the reasons is that they don't have enough vitamin B in their diet. And the beauty of the vitamin B, it's complete. That's another beautiful thing about Neolife supplements. It's amazing how the creator made food. Food comes in families, just like in the human race, we have families. Nutrients come in families. Vitamin B is not just one member. There are various vitamin Bs. There's B1, B2, B12, all those. But you see, to extract all those vitamin Bs together and put them in that tablet is a very, very expensive procedure or process. And you see, most manufacturers are there for the bottom line. How much profit can they make? So they're not going to put all the vitamin Bs together. They just put a few of them. But you see, your body needs a complete family. So when you take Neolife supplements, you're able to take complete supplements. That's why when people take our products, they can actually feel the difference. Carotenoid complex is also another product that will help with homocysteine. So with those products and with having what we call a healthy lifestyle, we're able to take care of our heart health. To conclude this, and if you want, you can take a screenshot. These are the Neolife products we recommend for heart health. I'm just going to repeat it. We have omega-3 salmon oil plus, we have Lipotropic, we have garlic allium complex, vitamin E, fiber tablets, CalMag, and a relatively new product we have called CoQ10. And the testimonials I've had about CoQ10 are amazing, yeah? It will help you. It's a powerful antioxidant, which is very, very important, so that in that way, the cholesterol in your blood vessels is not being turned into a substance that narrows your blood vessels. It's also very good for energy, yeah? And you see, when you have more energy, even you're more encouraged to exercise and do those kind of things. Some people feel they cannot exercise because they are feeling so tired. So when you have more energy, you're more encouraged to do the right things. And in those few words, when you have that healthy lifestyle, our Neolife products, you're able to prevent a broken heart. And in this case, a broken heart meaning that you're not going to have heart failure, you're not going to have cardiac arrest, you're not going to have those kind of challenges, which are affecting so many people. And in many families, we know there are people who just suddenly die. They get cardiac arrest, they get heart attack, and sometimes the first heart attack you get is the last. If you survive a heart attack, count yourself very lucky. Yeah? Your God is giving you a second chance to do other things. So friends, that's it for heart health. I am going to hand back to Fred to give us his testimonial on heart health. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Patricia. That was awesome, short and sweet to the point as usual. But you've done a very good job of it. Good evening again, friends. My name's Fred Gishuki, like I'd shared earlier. Heart health is an issue that we have dealt with as a family. I say with a family because my mom was diagnosed with high blood pressure when I was very young, when I was still in primary school. And she was a teacher, and I saw what she went through. She would go to class, she would teach, she would start getting her feet would start swelling, she would start coughing, and her pressure would go up. And we had tried everything as a family. She was on medication. She was on what we call acupuncture, where they stick some needles in you and you're supposed to heal. She was on miti nidawa. I remember we had to go and buy some herbs, which should boil overnight and drink the next day. So we were trying everything, and it was working in the short run. She would be okay for a while, but something happens. Maybe she lifts something heavy or she stands for a long time. Her pressure shoots up, and again, it's a crisis. She's rushed to hospital. It was chaotic. It was truly chaotic. And it was also very expensive because every time we had to rush her to hospital, consultation, bills, and all these things, and medicine. and traumatic as well for us, especially the children in the family. Now, when I got involved in Neolife, we were told use the products. And my mom and my dad were guinea pigs. My dad had ulcers, so both of them were guinea pigs. At first, they were very skeptical. They didn't want to use the products because they didn't understand how a man who was, by training, I'm a hotelier. At the time, I was working as a receptionist. They didn't understand how this guy who is a cook, waiter, stroke receptionist can have anything to do with medication. And by then, in 1996, we didn't have a lot of supplements around. People didn't know much about supplements. They knew any tablet is medicine. So I had a bit of a tough time to convince them to consume the products. Actually, I had to consume the products myself for them to believe that these things are safe. And when they saw that I didn't die or do anything abnormal after taking the products, they grudgingly accepted to start taking the products. But what happened after that was so interesting because her pressure stabilized and she kept going for checkups. Her medicine was reduced. They kept reducing it. Finally, she was down to 1 tablet, then I don't know, half a tablet. And it reached a point whereby she could actually live a normal life. Now, my mom then moved up country. And she said she wants to retire up country. She actually went before retirement, said, let me go prepare a home for myself. And she would be there, out there in the farm, doing her things, going to school, teaching, coming back. She was pretty busy, but her pressure was stable. Now, today she's over 80 years of age, but her pressure is well managed. And we never have a crisis that we have to rush her to hospital and all these things because of high blood pressure. She still goes for checkups and all these things because you can't really say you're 100% cured of high blood pressure when it strikes. But she is healthy and we thank God for that. I can tell you that gave me a lot of confidence. That was one of the key foundations of my business. That is what convinced me about Neolife products. And I went out sharing with so many other people about these products and what they can do. In the course of doing my business, I've met some very unique scenarios that happened, especially where heart health is concerned. I remember one of my distributors, the uncle had a stroke. And for 7 years, this man had been bedridden. He had to be bathed. He was paralyzed one side. He could not speak properly. He could not walk out, go to the shamba and all that. But we put him on the Neolife products. In less than 4 months, this man was walking again. It was so unbelievable that my downline, people started calling him a doctor. They were staying in Gilgil, and everybody in the neighborhood would bring everybody who was sick to him so that he can be able to treat them, yeah? Because they saw what happened as far as this gentleman is concerned. You can imagine somebody who had a stroke, his mouth was twisted, he could not walk, he had to be carried to the toilet, bathed. It was not a very good situation. But he was able to recover and get back the use of his limbs, courtesy of our products. Later in life, also one of my downlines, many of the distributors on the call probably know him, called Kimani. He's a director in the business. The grandma also had a stroke and for more than 4 years was paralyzed. She used our products and she recovered the use of her limbs. Now, our products are not medicine and we don't claim to heal anything. We don't claim that if you start using our products, you stop taking medicine. No, that's not what you're saying. What you're saying is that nutrition is powerful. And when you give your body the right kind of nutrition in a concentrated format, then the body is able to heal itself and correct any problems that there may be in the body. And that is what actually helps you to go back to normal. Now but after seeing what happened with my mother, I went out to build a business with Neolife. And this business, which I started as a side hustle, became my full-time business. I quit employment by the age of 30 to do this business on a full-time basis. I can tell you it's been an exciting journey. Neolife will not only give you money, but it also gives you so many other benefits. Other than money and health, I've been able to travel quite a bit to more than 20 countries, courtesy of Neolife. In fact, I've been to America a couple of times. I've been to South Africa, Mexico, Mauritius, so many places. I actually got married to one of my customers who was buying from me tree, and then today we have 4 beautiful girls. And I can tell you, Neolife is truly a total value opportunity. So if you're here and you're a guest and you're looking at maybe you want to use the products, go right ahead. But the best way to use the products is by becoming a member and becoming a distributor so that you can buy them for yourself at wholesale price. But if you feel that is too much for you, you can still buy directly from the person who invited you. But either way, let us continue sharing this message of long-term health, long-term wellness. You can live a longer, healthier life with the right kind of products, like what we give you in Neolife, the right kind of supplements, and also with a fantastic opportunity that helps you to make money. You know, sometimes, especially for us men, when you're broke, you're actually sick, because you actually feel sick when you're broke. So the fact that you are making money with Neolife, supplementing your income, and also taking care of your health, that gives you overall wellness. So guys, it was great chatting with you this afternoon. Next week, we'll be back again and we'll be talking about a different aspect of health. It will be a very exciting session next week because we'll be looking at how can you discover that you're deficient in a certain mineral, in a certain nutrient, and how can you remedy that? So next week, we are going to have an expert who will be telling us how can we discover deficiencies in our bodies and how can we be able to fulfill those deficiencies, because deficiencies can actually make you unwell. You might not be experiencing your life in totality because you have a certain deficiency. And we need to know how can we be able to know that we have deficiencies in our body. So that's a topic for next week. So I look forward to seeing you again next week. This video will be available a little bit later this evening. Go through it, but share it with your friends, with your relatives. Let us save lives out there. This information is so, so powerful. And right now, especially matters heart health, so many young people are just dropping dead. Just like that. And it's because they are not eating properly and they end up messing up their heart and it becomes fatal. But with this kind of message being shared freely, we are going to save lives. So thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed afternoon. I look forward to seeing you again next week when we'll have the session on how to get to know our deficiencies. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, Fred. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Patricia. Good evening.